I'm Mason Brown, and I'm here with.
Isaac Hurley.
Drew McGlone.
And Dominic Barron.
And today we're going to be talking about sleep in high school and college age students. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what do you guys know about getting adequate sleep?
And like boost your energy.
I mean, how many hours of sleep are you supposed to get? Is it like 7 or 8?
Yeah,
what it is?
I think the recommended is like 8 to 10 for our age group, but
I know
We're
from like
pretty
personal
busy.
experience, it like definitely makes the next day better. So, yeah.
do you guys do anything that you think helps you get better sleep, or do you just kind of go throughout your night?
I listen to music while I fall asleep.
Yeah, I make sure I don't eat certain foods like or drink certain things because it will keep me up.
Like what?
I don't know. Specifically like pop. If you eat too much sugar like candy, I get hyper.
All right. Do you prioritize the amount of sleep you're getting each night? So do you go to bed at night thinking like, oh, I have to wake up at 6, so I have to be in bed by 10? Or do you guys do that at all, Dom?
No. I just kind of fall asleep whenever I fall asleep. I don't really put any thought into it.
Okay.
Like I know when I should be going to sleep, but I don't go to sleep at that time. Like I know when I have to wake up, but I still like just stay up a little late. But I'm always like asleep before 11:30.
Okay.
I make a point of like setting my phone down around 9:30 because if I stay on that, I'm gonna stay up for a while, especially on social media. So I do kind of plan out my nights
So what time do you usually go to bed, Isaac?
between like 10:30.
Dom?
Anytime from like 12 to 1:30.
I guess the time you go to bed doesn't matter, but how much sleep would you say you guys get?
Well, I don't have any classes in the morning, so I'm still probably getting like 6 or 7 hours.
Okay.
About the same.
I think I get from like 10 until hopefully like 6:30 to 7, but usually I'll end up waking up maybe a little before 6.
So about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Next question. How long before bed do you put your phone down, if you do at all? Or are you up on your phone until you go to bed?
Again, I kind of try to set it down around 9:30 because if I don't, I'm cooked. But I mean, sometimes I'll keep it with me. Of course, it's on my bedside when I go to bed, but I do try to get off it a little earlier than I go to sleep.
I usually like call my girlfriend, and then when I hang up, I like put my phone down for the night. And
Okay.
so, really, I mean, I just be watching TV.
Yeah.
What was the question about the phones?
Yeah, just like, are you on your phone? What do you do on your phone? And do you
A
put
lot
it down
of the
before?
time I fall asleep just scrolling on my
Scrolling on your
phone.
phone,
Yeah.
okay. So a few articles, I shared these articles with you before.
Yeah, I read
but
over them.
about just being on your phone in the media type. that
Oh,
you-
in the media, yeah.
Yeah, so so the study suggested that if you're reading a book or if you're reading like a news article on a screen, that can actually promote better sleep. But if you're watching a YouTube video or like a movie or you're just scrolling, that usually results in like falling asleep, taking longer, and just like waking up more in the middle of the night. Do you guys see an effect in that? Like if you're scrolling on Instagram one night, like really late, and then you try and go to bed, or if you like put your phone down?
Yeah, for sure. If I'm on social media beforehand, I feel like my mind's still racing when I lay down. But I don't read too often, but when I do, I feel like I sleep really well.
I don't know. I don't really think about how I'm sleeping, like the quality of it. I just kind of do it whenever it happens.
For me, it's like what I'm doing the next day. So,
Okay.
like, if it's like a Friday night and I got nothing Saturday morning, I'm going to sleep good.
Yeah.
Because then I get to just wake up whenever I wake up. But then if it's Friday night and I got work out in the morning, then I'm like, and then I get to kind of rush myself going to bed, probably don't sleep as well.
Okay. On the day-to-day, like during the week, like when you have to wake up for schools, would you guys say that when you wake up in the morning, you find it difficult to wake up? Or do you think like usually like your alarm goes off and you wake up and you're like, you turn it off and you're good to go? What do you guys think? Or are you hitting the snooze button a few times before you get up?
I've always been a person that pops up pretty easy in the morning. Like it's always been pretty simple for me.
Okay.
It depends. It depends. Like last year, I used to set my alarm at 6:20 and I would snooze until 7:15.
Yeah, sometimes I set an alarm for like 4 just so I can wake up and look at it and be like, I
Ju-
get to
just
sleep
have
for
that
a while
feeling,
longer.
yeah.
But it really depends. Like I'm always up and out of like my thing's always. I always get out of bed at 7:15 to 7:20, like no matter what. like my body just gotten used to that.
Yeah.
So I set my alarm for 7, and if I'm like really, really tired, I'll snooze it once. But other than that, I usually get up, and then if I don't set an alarm, I still like my body naturally gets up at like 7:30.
Yeah. Isaac.
On the other hand, like, I know for a fact that these guys make fun of my little ringtone thing because they're like, how in the world does that wake you up? It's like these little birds chirping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, a lot of people are like, how would you ever get up from that? And I feel like the only way I can is like, I think I'm awake before. Like, my body wakes up before the alarm's gonna go off, so like I'm awake by the time it goes off.
Okay. So instead of like the aggressive alarm,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
more
like
subtle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so we've talked about your habits like before going to bed, like at night, but then like throughout the day. So like I said, a lot of it comes back to like how long you're on your phone during the day too. That article that I shared with you guys. So do you guys know like roughly like what your daily screen time? Do you know what that is on your phones?
So I have it turned off because when I get in trouble, my mom always takes my phone, and then I eventually get it back, and I don't want her to check the screen time to see if I've been on it. So I have it completely turned off. But if I had to say an average, it's probably 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say like 4.5.
Weekdays are probably like 3 hours, three and a
Okay.
half hours, because I'm just doing so much stuff.
What about you, Mason?
You know, I'm right around that 3 to 4 hour range, which is honestly pretty good for most kids our
Kids our
age. You know?
age, yeah.
I feel like we've had a few classes where we'll talk about like screen time, and some kids are up in like the 8-9 hours a day, and that's just
Remember
crazy.
that one girl was like 8?
That's-
Yeah. And then during the day, do you guys drink caffeine? Like, are you caffeine people?
Yep.
Like once or twice a week.
I drink a lot of caffeine,
Yeah. Like what kind? Like coffee, energy drinks?
energy drinks.
Mm-hmm.
like a lot, or like
If I'm going to a practice or if I'm working out. But other than that, if I have nothing to do, like if it's like a Saturday, Sunday, I'm not doing anything,
Yeah.
I won't drink one.
okay. Isaac.
I drink coffee probably like 3 to 4 mornings throughout the week, and I don't even really think about it anymore. I guess it gets me a little more jittery, but for the most part, it doesn't have too much of an
It's just
effect.
kind of habitual now.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Do you ever have caffeine like kind of pushing it closer like when you're going to bed? Because they say that like caffeine stays in your system for about 6 hours.
Yeah.
Would you guys say that you have it later, like maybe in the later afternoon or
Yeah,
like early
yeah.
evening?
I might crack open a Dr. P before with some dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
And
that.
that might stay in my system, but other than that, I don't. I mean, I lift at night, so I'll drink like an energy drink at like 7.
And do you think that has effect on you, like before you go to bed or anything?
No, I think during the school week where I'm not like waking up on my own and I'm tired from the alarm, that it like feeds and feeds and feeds, and I just get
Yeah.
tired and tired.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to have caffeine like after 7 because my mom
Okay.
says I get really giggly.
Okay.
But I don't feel it, but they say I do.
Okay. So not even like a Coke.
No. I mean, I've done it.
And
but I'm
it,
not supposed to.
Oh, okay. So the other article I shared with you guys suggested some of the things that plays a part on how well you sleep, the noise. We already talked about your screen time, and then also the air temperature. So this is kind of random. Do you have any idea like what your houses are set at, like your thermostat?
Like probably like 68 to 70.
Okay.
I know my mom keeps it at like 68 every day.
I
Yeah.
have no idea, but it's cold, and I sleep in the basement. And the basement's a lot colder than the rest of the house.
Yeah. Some people say that like they sleep better in the cold. Are you guys like that, or does it really like not have an effect on you?
I definitely think
When
I
I was-
like sleeping in the cold. I don't know if it affects me, but I like it.
I think about it like I sleep better in the winter than I do in the summer, which
Yeah.
is definitely because it's like really hot out.
And there's
my
more to
room,
do
my
in the
room gets
winter.
affected because of the windows. So
Yeah.
it is harder to sleep in the summer.
It's like when you guys are hot, you like get sweaty. You can't
Yeah.
sleep. Okay.
And once you're hot, I feel like you can't get cold.
It's
You have to
easier
get in the
easier to put a
shower.
blanket on.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so the article I shared also talked about how lighting has an effect on how you sleep at night. So do you guys have like a pitch black room? Do you have like a night light? Do you have the bathroom light on?
Really, just like a TV light.
Okay. Isaac?
When I was younger, I remember getting up at night, going to pee or something, and I stubbed my toe, or I tripped and it really hurt, and I've used the nightlight ever since.
Okay. Okay. Dom.
Yeah, I don't have any lights on.
It's always dark.
Usually, yeah, it's just pitch black.
Okay.
That's impressive, man.
All right. So today I talked to some high school and college age students about their sleep habits. Some of the things we found is that some of them prioritize the amount of sleep they're getting, while some really don't care. They can sleep in pretty much any condition. But pretty much all of them collectively said that temperature definitely it has the most notable effect on their sleep. Like when it's really warm, they have a really hard time sleeping. They'd much rather it be really cold. But for the most part, their houses are always set to like the same temperature. So up until the summer, they pretty much have the same. And then once it gets warmer, they have a little bit more trouble sleeping. All of them used caffeine to some extent, whether it be energy drinks or coffee. When they had it during the day, it didn't have any effect on them. But a few of them, when they would have caffeine closer to the time they're going to sleep, like within that 6-hour range, they would see a little bit of an effect just trying to fall asleep. And then also, they all use their phones a pretty good amount during the day, usually in that 3 to 4 hour range. And during the day, their phone use, just like a lot of high schoolers do, just social media, YouTube videos, Google, all that stuff. And then at night, typically YouTube and scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat. And they would use their phone straight up until the time they went to bed. And two out of the three said it had no effect on them. And one of them said that if they were on their phone, they couldn't fall asleep. But that's what we found today. I'd like to thank you guys for being on this show, and I hope you enjoyed.